So you've decided you want to drive electric. But the question is, what is it that you want to drive? Well, let's have a look on this episode of The Real DC Car Guy at the 2022 Hyundai Kona all-electric crossover. Now, how are you going to tell a Hyundai Kona electric from a Hyundai Kona ICE vehicle or internal combustion vehicle? Well, the electric does not have a grill here. It does have a grill down here to cool the batteries, but there's no grill here. And if you see a grill here, you know that is an ICE vehicle. And it also has the battery access port right up front, whereas some vehicles have them on the side. Now, Hyundai says the reason that they have placed it off center is because it shows that this is an electric vehicle. Not quite sure about that. Nissan puts it in the center, and other Hyundai vehicles have it on the side where you'd find a normal gasoline port. So interesting to see that. When you charge the vehicle, this area here turns green. There is a series of lights here as well. This does take the 1772 and the CMS connector right there. So if you want to do DC fast charging, yes, this vehicle will do that. Or you can just charge on your 120 volt at home or on the 1772 that you're going to find at your local supermarket. So one of the things about any electric vehicle is, where are you going to charge your EV? There are plenty of free chargers located in supermarket parking lots, shopping center parking lots, like this Volta charger right here. So if you want to charge, you can charge almost anywhere in a suburban or urban area that has free charger. Now, of course, there are pay chargers as well, and you'll get a faster charge at a pay charge, but you'll also pay for that thing. And if you want a level 1 charge, which is a 120 volt charger, the car comes with a 120 volt plug-in that I plug in personally in my garage. What's under the hood of the Hyundai Kona? Well, let's have a look. Classic. Like any other car, there's a lever inside on the driver's side. You open it up. There is a holder right there. So there's no frunk in the Kona. So no frunk, but there is the EV engine, the EV Eco Technology device in here, which is basically the electric engine. And yes, there is a regular 12 volt battery in here. Electric cars do use 12 volt batteries. And what are the other things that you see in here maintenance wise? Well, there is windshield washer fluid right there. There is coolant there. There's brake fluid there. So those things do need to be maintained. And of course, over here is where your fuses are. All these orange wires here, those are the high power wires. So there's a lot of technology in here, but if you look at it, as you can see, there's not a lot of space being taken up in the engine compartment by the electric power plant. Now, this is not the batteries. The batteries are under the car. This is just the electric motor, and then there's a front wheel drive system here. And yes, there is a radiator in there. You can probably see that a little bit down in there. Maybe not, but remember, it does have a radiator for both the air conditioning, which it has a heat pump on, and also to cool and heat the batteries. Now, the side of the Kona is pretty basic crossover. You've got your area up front where actually there is electric components, engine components up here. They're just not gas powered. There are 4 doors, 2 on either side, to access the passenger compartment. There's a little cargo area, and of course a hatch in the back. Now, the one thing you're going to notice on the Kona Electric are these 17-inch wheels. Now, these are special tires, but they're not the skinny tires that we used to see in the early electric vehicles. They're pretty much regular tires, though they are harder, so it has less rolling resistance. And of course, you're not going to see a lot of air entrance there. One of the things that the designers try to do is to create as little air disturbance as possible, which would mean more power that would have to be used to drive the vehicle. So that's why you don't see a lot of open space there. And plus, you don't need it to cool the brake pads, because a lot of braking on a electric vehicle is done by regenerative braking. So when you go to slow down, you're not using your brake pads. The forward motion is doing a regenerative energy, which is putting electricity back into the battery. So you really don't need as much brake pads. And when they say electric vehicles don't get as much maintenance, that's one of the things that you're not going to be doing a lot of, is replacing your brake pads. It has manually retracting side mirrors. It has very normal door handles, and you see in a lot of electric vehicles, you see recessed door handles. These door handles are like what you would normally see. They just open up and handle and are mechanical. They're not electric door handles like we found on the Volkswagen ID.4. So let's go in and have a look inside of the Hyundai Kona electric. Now inside the vehicle here, pretty basic, as I said. Switchgear is shared with the first generation Ioniq, this sort of spaceship style turbine air vent here. Ioniq has 2 levels of switches. This just has one. It has the traction control off, automatic charge there, parking sensors off. Now the Ioniq doesn't have a parking sensor, and of course the brightness and dimness of the dashboard. This vehicle does not have a heads-up display. The gear shifter are buttons here. This is different in the Ioniq than it is in the Kona. There is an electric parking brake here. Of course, underneath there is where you would put your wireless device in to charge, and there is a USB-A in there as well. Controls here for HVAC, controls up here for map, navigation, radio, and media. Now this Hyundai Kona electric, and right now fully charged, it's 298. Again, it's a colder morning, so it would normally be a little over 300. Now there is no video mirror, and there's no switch for day-night there. There is a place for your sunglasses. There is a sunroof here, which is very nice to have. And a manual shade, which is nice. The sun visors slide out. There's also a mirror there, and you get to turn your light on if you want to do that. That's right there, so that's nice. And there's a little place to put a ticket underneath if you need to do that. Now the thing you're going to notice is this nice seating material here, perforated seating material, and that works with the heated and cooled seats. There's cooled and heated seats, and those are just for the 2 front seats. Now there are no heated and cooled seats in the rear, though the rear does have the same type of material. Now one of the things that I have noticed is that there is a lot of hard plastic here, and it's really not overly attractive, but it's okay. I mean, it's fine. Something that that's interesting with this vehicle is that it does have a little area down below the console, and there's an outlet there, and there is a USB as well as a 12-volt outlet there. And if you're looking for more USB outlets, there's one right here. There's also wireless charging right there. And inside here, you're not going to find anything. There's no outlets in there. So that's just your regular storage box there, a little place there, cup holders that are there. So very simple, sort of nice and space-agey looking vents. The doors also are very simple and clean. Now I like the two-tone coloring here, the darker plastic and then the leatherette, white leatherette. Now yes, there is a second row. Now this is not a 3-row crossover. This is only a 2-row vehicle. So there is seats in the front for the passenger and driver, and then there are 3 seats and a bench seat in the back. Now, one of the things that we found in the Kona is that there's not really a whole lot of space for those second row passengers, nor are there a whole lot of amenities for the second row passengers. But let's have a look inside. So what's it like in the back seat of the 2022 Kona Electric? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. There's not a lot of knee room if the seats are set more to the back for the front seat passengers. Headroom is okay. There is one map pocket right here. There is one USB-A port here, but nothing else. There is a little cubby there that I suppose you could put your phone in. But other than that, it's about it. There is, of course, grab handles on both sides. There's a coat hanger up here. LED lights here, but nothing back in here. There is a fold-down armrest, is nice, but there's no pass-through here. So if you wanted to pass through, and this is a 60/40 rear seat, with this part being the 60. So you could have it that way, I suppose. And of course, if you want the third center seat, there's not a lot of room here. There's not a big transmission hump here. But of course, once you put this armrest down, that loses that third seat in the middle. But nobody wants to ride in the middle anyway. So I'm going to give the back seat, you're not going to really want to ride back here, I don't think, a whole lot. I'm not going to give it a lot of points up for riding. And like many crossovers today, the Hyundai Kona Electric has a rear hatch and a small amount of cargo space here. Actually, it's pretty good. I would say there's at least 24 inches here. It's a pretty good space. You do need to take this package shelf off if you want to get anything big in. It does bend back, so you're not going to get anything real tall or boxy in, but you can always put down the rear seats. Now, the Kona storage area is not super big, but big enough for things. It does have this hard package shelf cover here that you would pop out and take with you somewhere. But what are you going to do with it if you're traveling? You can probably put it down below here. You're seeing more and more of these type of security covers. Underneath the back is a little tray area, and underneath that is where the air pump is, and also where the charging cord is. And it's a nice big area there, though it's not really big enough to put a laptop in if you were trying to hide a laptop. There's really not a whole lot of space. Little holding net here. It does have a nice little net here for that, so that's nice. Thank you for watching this video on the 2022 Hyundai Kona Electric. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and follow us here on The Real DC Car Guy for more auto and truck reviews. Until next time.